Family.
They keep me working.
Keep you working? I bought you a gift. I bought you my book on men.
Oh, that's kind.
I'll autograph it for you too. And that's an event that's coming up. Oh dear. I think that one is in Spanish.
This is Ben. He's one of my
Hey
nephews.
Ben, how you doing, man?
It's just gonna.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you so much.
It's for us. He just said to me, "What's that? No, I'm all right."
This is the original.
Thank you. Let me just check your levels.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my daughter, Charissa. She is my public relations director and also road manager.
Okay.
And she just took up that position this year. And
Would you please grab the mic by the stem and just
pull
bring
it closer?
to you? Yes, please. Yes, that's.
1, 2, 3,
if
4,
we take
5,
questions.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a test of Premier Radios.
Now, what did you have for breakfast, Doctor?
What did I have for breakfast? I had a speaking engagement 3 times a day for the last 21 days.
That's
what I had. Including today. I was speaking all day today.
Okay.
So my voice is short, tired. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is the doctor on Premier Radio with Muiwe.
Which artist are you listening to at the moment?
Oh dear. Well, there's so many of them. I guess my favorite artist at the moment would be Fernando Ortega.
Fernando Ortega.
Yeah.
Ooh, here we go.
He's good.
Now I've got.
All of his songs are fantastic to me.
Ben, you can turn on all the lights just behind you.
Okay. It's all right, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's Chris Tomlin and Our God, a song I played you earlier on during the news hour. Yes, as I said, I'm still here. And the reason I'm here is because my guest is in the studio. Of course, I'm here till 1 a.m., but I've been telling you since afternoon that the doctor himself will be here. And I have to tell you, you probably won't get to hear from her, but he came armed with his daughter. And Dr. Miles Monroe, good evening. How are you, sir?
You know, it's great to be back on Premiere. It has been too long. And
It has.
I want to say greetings to all of my favorite audiences here. It's been a joy to be back in London. I haven't been here for a while. Been traveling around the globe the last 4 years. Tremendous opportunities. So it's good to be back in cool London. I flew in from the Bahamas. It was about 89 degrees. The sun was shining.
Now he
Ocean
has to
was
do that, doesn't he?
fantastic.
He has to make us
And
feel
on
something.
my way to the airport, I passed the sandy white beaches of Nassau. And when I left the Bahamas, I'm thinking, the whole world must be like this. Then when I landed at Heathrow and the door opened, I felt, this must not be the will of God. But it's good to be back. I understand that London is about to enter its winter season, so. But I've had a great time here so far, and I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to be back on Premiere.
No, it's great to have you. Of course, you're a man that's known around the world for your wealth of wisdom, for the many books you've written. And I want to ask you about what you're talking a lot about national transformation. You have been talking about that for a while,
Yes.
raising leaders.
Yes.
But I wanted to skip back a little.
Okay.
If you didn't mind, because of course it's all right. Miles Monroe talking about national transformation. He's this great man of wisdom that we all know. But where did it all start? And I remember my predecessor on Turning Point speaking to you, and you saying to him, you told a story of at the age of 13,
Yes.
being in school.
Yes.
And being told by a teacher, the class has been told by a teacher,
Yes.
all these negative things, and you deeply upset, get home, your mother shakes you, gives you a Bible, and you read the book of Ephesians, and
You got a great memory.
And that's where the journey starts. But then you also talk about, in another interview, you talk about at the age of 13 reading the Gospels.
Yes, I sure did.
Now, tell us a bit about that moment, because it seems a lot happened to you at the age of 13 that turned
Yes.
everything to turn you to this journey of the kingdom that you are.
Absolutely. I think all humans are products of ideas. The ideas that we collect during our sojourn on earth, which began, of course, from inception in a family. We collect ideas from our environment, beginning with our parents, our siblings, our culture, our community. And of course, we therefore are shaped by the ideas that we receive and we believe. And my problem was that I grew up in a home where I had wonderful parents. My father and mother were both strong believers in God. My father was literally, he was a Baptist preacher.
By the way, can I just tell you, Dr. Miles, I've got this hour with you,
Yes.
and the next hour, well, actually the next 2 hours after we're done, is with your dad.
Really?
Yes, I did an interview with him. I was broadcasting from the Bahamas maybe 3 or 4 years ago, so I did a whole hour interview with him. So I'm rerunning that later on. So it's
Are you serious?
Yes. And hopefully, next time you come, it'll be you first, your dad, and then your daughter.
That's a great idea. You can have my whole story here.
So you were saying?
Yes. So I was brought up in a home where we were very exposed to the Christian faith, and that was almost based on obligation. Our parents were both strong believers. My father was an associate pastor at a Baptist church, a strong preacher. And so I was exposed to the ideas of God through a Baptist perspective. And I say that because, all of us see God through the perspective of our theological positions and our training. And so by the time I was 13, there was some contradiction.
But Doc, let me ask you though, because I noticed there's a summit that you were speaking at in
Yes.
Texas, 2013, and you talk about at the age of 13 being frustrated
Yes.
in the Baptist setting, and you went and discovered the kingdom, and then you say, your dad now sits at the front row of your church taking notes,
Yes.
but he's still a pastor at Bethel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And like I said, the contradiction began where my experience as a young teenager was not equal to the message my father was teaching us and the church that I attended was teaching us. For example, they were saying that God is a good God, and he's a God who owns the sheep on 1,000 hills and all this great stuff. And here I was living in a wooden house on 4 big rocks, sleeping on a wooden floor, on a mat with rats and roaches running across my body. And so I began to be confused. I said, well, if this God is so good, why am I having such a bad experience? If this God is so wealthy, why am I poor? And so I think the average teenager don't ask those questions at 13. So I think I was a little bit more advanced in my analysis of life. And the result of it was that I began to question the existence of God at age 13 in a very innocent way, because I began to ask questions that my parents could not answer satisfactorily.
Doc, I'm going to ask you to pause there and find out what happened. Of course, we know where we're at now, so you can say you figured out what happened to Miles Monroe after those questions. But find out what Dr. Miles Monroe found out or heard as he questioned at the age of 13. And an interesting thing that happened around about age of 16, 17. His father tells us. Find out more after this.
You actually got into it with my dad. That's unbelievable. Are you serious?
I'm just speculation. Or speculating.
You're just speculating.
Yes, sir.
Forgive me.
Let me know when you go back on that side of the glass, please.
Okay. Oh yeah, we could. That's. I went to the ad now, so we can go and get your
In
tea.
other words,
Oh, she don't mind sitting here. She just don't want you to turn to her and say,
Oh no.
answer this question.
No.
She could actually. Matter of fact, I think you have a unique show if you ask her about her father, let her answer 2 questions.
I'd love to.
I think it's a good idea. That would add
No.
When your
an
daughter says,
exclusive-
don't you
an
dare.
exclusive to your program.
I'm telling you, don't you dare.
Dad, Charles wants to know the